Great news, brilliant news, excellent news for all the guys out there who are a bit like me and have a very small graphics card. The good news is that some scientists, some researchers have created a new technique called LoRA, which is basically Dreambooth, but it works on 8 gigabytes of RAM, 7.6 actually. 7.6 for me, maybe a little less for you, I don't know. But the point is, on an 8 gigabyte GPU, you can do local Dreambooth training. So that is really good news for all the small graphics card kings out there. This is what we're going to do today. We're going to train a Tintin model that makes images of Tintin. That's the plan. And you might say, well, you know, Tintin is already, he's like a known figure. The model already knows how to make Tintin. Well, my response to that would be, check out these images. Here are some images of Tintin that I generated earlier. And as you can see, it kind of understands some of the ideas. You know, he's a man, he's got a dog, sometimes he wears this sort of Chinese looking robe. You know, those are all qualities Tintin has, but it's definitely missing something. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll have like a really good, nice Tintin embedding. Okay, so let's go down this list of things. First, we've got to prepare our images. I've already done that. I've just chucked them in this folder here. They're all cropped to 768 by 768. Just go to properties, details, and it'll tell you that. And I used a website called Brime, it's in the description, to help me do that. But basically I just grabbed all these images of Tintin. There's like 12 of them in total, and they're just sitting there in a folder. So that's good. Done that. We can definitely give that one a big tick. Next, we're going to want to install the Dreambooth extension, because LoRA works through the Dreambooth extension on Automatic1111. Okay, so I'm assuming you've installed Automatic1111. If not, there's a link in the description and also a link to another video that can help you do that. But once you've installed it and got it working, you go to the extensions tab. I've already got it installed. It's called the SD Dreambooth extension. And you might have to update it or something if you have got an older version. But if you haven't installed it at all, that's good, because it means that you won't need to do any updating. And you just go to this page, you click load from, and it'll load this big long list. And you Control F Dreambooth. Now, in my case, it doesn't actually show up because I've already installed it, so it's not going to appear on this list. But for you, one called Dreambooth will appear on this list. All you have to do is click the install button, and then you'll get some indication up here that it's been installed. And then once it's been installed, you'll just need to restart the whole Automatic1111 web UI. So that means actually going into the terminal and, you know, shutting the terminal down and restarting WebUI to back. Because you need to do a hard reset, because it's sort of a big change. And when you're done, when you finished all that, there'll be this nice Dreambooth tab here that you can then exploit and take advantage of. So that's sort of the plan. Okay, great. So that's done. We've installed the extension. Next, we have to clone a model for training. So we're going to train a model, and we don't want to just use one of the models we've got sitting here already, because then if something goes wrong in training and we ruin the model, then we'll have no model left. We'll have to download it again from Hugging Face. So I have a Stable Diffusion 2.0 checkpoint sitting here. I'm gonna create a clone of that for training purposes. So the first thing we do is we create a model. I'm gonna call it Tintin. This is the model clone that I'm about to create here. And we'll select a source checkpoint. It's just this one here, which is my Stable Diffusion 2.0 checkpoint. You should probably name yours a bit more descriptively than I have. And don't want to do any of this nonsense. I'm just going to say create, and that's going to happen fairly quickly. You can again track the progress down here, usually in the terminal. Great, checkpoint extracted successfully. So that's really good. And now we have a model Tintin here. And if we actually look under WebUI models Dreambooth, you'll see that it's created this Tintin folder, which has like a whole bunch of nonsense in it. Okay, great. Cloned our model. Brilliant. Perfect. Excellent. Now we're going to train LoRA. Now this step might take a bit longer for you than it is going to for me, because if you just installed the Dreambooth LoRA extension the first time you try to do training, it'll have to download a whole bunch of stuff. So just sit tight. Could take up to half an hour if your internet is run by koalas, as it is in my country. Anyhow, training. You go to this parameters tab here. So Dreambooth parameters, and we're going to set a bunch of parameters. I've linked them for you in the description, so you don't have to worry, right? You don't have to stress, you don't have to, this is the Koi Boy experience, you know. But I've written them down here, and we're just going to go faithfully, one by one, and make sure we've got them all. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and set all the parameters. So I've already written them down, they'll be in the description. And we're just going to go through them one by one, make sure we have everything set correctly. So training steps per epoch, 150. Training steps per image, 150. Batch size should be 1. Great. LoRA unet learning rate, 0.08. To be honest, I don't think it actually matters too much exactly what these are. These are just parameters that other people have used that like seem to work pretty well for them. So that's fine. Okay. The LR schedule is constant. Great. Horizontal flip on. You might want to do center crop if you haven't already cropped all your images. If you want to be really memory efficient, you might also want to do 512 instead of 768. But I'm using Stable Diffusion 2.0, and I know that it will be bad if I try to train it on less than that. So that's what we're keeping. Okay, so now we hit the Advanced tab. Firstly, use LoRA. That's the main thing that we have to check to make sure that it's on. And we also have to check use 8-bit Atom, because that will mean that the model uses less memory while training, which is really important. Mixed Precision, FP16, also makes it use less memory, and the xformers, again, also makes us use less memory, because xformers is really good. Okay, don't cache latents, we want that off. Train text encoder, also off, again, that's to save memory. And pad tokens, for some reason I got a weird error when I pad tokens. You might be able to get away with padding tokens. I'm pretty sure this has to do with like the text tokens that you're putting in. But on my version, if I tried to pad tokens, it throws an error at me. So no pad tokens. And these are all the parameters here that we need to care about. Everything else you can just leave as it is. Okay, parameters all done. Nice, nice, nice. Now we go to concepts. And this is like showing it the images that we're going to train on. So first step, we need a path to the dataset directory. I'll open it up. Downloads, Tintin. Great, copy this path. Get rid of this now. Great, done. File words. So the instance token in this case is Tintin. And the class token is man, because that's what Tintin is. He's a man. File words. That's like a funny thing you can do where you have like a particular prompt associated with each image, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do the basic normal thing you do. So this prompt will be associated with every image we feed it. So for our prompts, we have a cartoon illustration of Tintin. This is the prompt associated with all of our images. And then a cartoon illustration of a man. This is going to be our preservation images to stop the model going too crazy. So as you can see, LoRA still uses like all the same Dreambooth concepts we've come to know and love. And so usually what is recommended with Dreambooth is that you use an uncommon 3-letter identifier like SKS to refer to your instance. But in this case, because I want to leverage all of the Tintin ideas that the model already has in it, because the model probably knows kind of who Tintin is already, I want to leverage those. So I'm just going to use Tintin itself so that it hopefully will just learn how to make a better Tintin than the Tintin that it already makes, as opposed to having to start from SKS, which it has no idea what SKS is. And that's it. Just leave everything else the way it is. So parameters done, concepts done. Now all we have to do is train. Okay, so I just had to turn off my monitor while recording because, you know, my graphics card's not very, very big. It's not very large and satisfying. So training seems to have completed. And we're looking at this 28% here, which looks really concerning because, you know, it seems like it stopped after 28%. But it also says training finished and there were 500 steps. And I don't think that really tracks to the number of steps that I put here times the number of images that I had, but that's fine. We're gonna sort it out. So we've completed LoRA training, at least I'm assuming, and now we have to create a checkpoint from LoRA, because when you do LoRA training, you don't actually get one of those nice CKPT files. You get this other small file, which you can then merge into a checkpoint. So the way we do this is we go LoRA model, we pick the one that we wanted, so in this case, Tintin 500. I can tell it's 500 because it did about 500 steps. That kind of makes sense. And then you just click Generate Checkpoint. And that's really fast. Checkpoint compiled for Tintin. It's converting the unet. Okay, and as you can see, it seems like the process is finished. Yes, it has. And it's making a new checkpoint here. So Tintin 501 LoRA checkpoint, which if really lucky, should be, if we refresh this should be among the checkpoints that we have here. Tintin 501 LoRA. Okay, great. Looks like we have our checkpoint. Happy times. And we can go and tick off this last one here. Oh, and just before we move on, the training took like 7 minutes. So that's like really fast. Apparently, I don't exactly know how LoRA works, but it seems like it's very efficient, if nothing else. Okay, so refreshing text to image. Now the model won't actually be here. By default, you're gonna have to reload in order to actually load this new Tintin checkpoint model. And we're gonna use exactly the same prompt as we had before. So a cartoon illustration of Tintin. This checkpoint might take like a minute to load for some reason. We also have to make sure that we set the correct width and height, because again, this is a variant of Stable Diffusion 2.0, so it needs to be 786 by 786. Okay, and there we go. Now, this isn't Tintin, but it looks a lot more like Tintin than what we had before, right? I don't know about y'all, but I'd say we're looking at a big improvement. I'm just gonna go ahead and generate like 5. Let's go ahead and generate like 8 of these bad boys, and we'll see if any of them are actually reasonable. So some of these are definitely looking a lot more Dr. Seuss-esque than we'd like, but they do look a lot more like the actual Tintin. There we go. You know, that's Tintin for you. And just to make this a bit more interesting, we'll try generating a version of Tintin wearing a Christmas hat, because of course it is Christmas, and you know, themes, YouTube clicks, I don't know, it seems appropriate. Okay, so of those, we got like 1 that looks a bit like Tintin. I'm just gonna try training again, but with more steps. And hopefully we can get better results with more steps. Okay, so I tried training it again, and I found that I'd made a mistake, because in the concepts tab, I had actually set the total number of regularization images to 0 the first time. So I was like, okay, cool, great. I'll just set them to 100 and then train again. And the result was complete nonsense. Absolute complete nonsense. So I just went back to the original model, the Tintin, just the normal Tintin 501 that we were using before, and I increased the sampling steps to 40, and we ended up with arguably some pretty good results. Like this does definitely look like Tintin with a gun. Man, Tintin got serious. Anyhow, so I feel like these results are definitely a lot better than what we had before, and I'm ready to call it a day. And that is how you use LoRA to train on a little potato, like the potato that I have. If you have any questions, I'll be answering them in the YouTube comments for the next bit, even though it's Christmas, because I have no self-control. And also, there's a Discord chat where other people sometimes answer questions, as well as me sometimes, which you can find in the old description there. And otherwise,